Here I am in Reykjavik, my 66th country. Now let's get stamps into the country. Well, not really stamps, because I'm a British citizen. Now, I'm just gotten through Reykjavik. Need to go find bus number 55, a cheap bus that gets me into the city. This bus is, bus is over there. Gosh, I found the bus. It's going to cost me less than 2,000 kronas. So here we are, just on the bus. Getting out to Reykjavik. First I got to change at Fitjor at 10:47. And get out to Reykjavik again. What I like, it's snowing and raining. And I'm in a town called Fitjor, something like that. So I just walk away from my bus. Right now, it's been dropped outside. We're left with you on the Iceland. I'm gonna go in for a look. I mean, I was thinking of going to a restaurant because it's nearly like 12 o'clock and I'm a bit hungry. I've just got carrots in my bag. But I think I'll kind of spend some money in this museum. I reckon I'll be in this museum for about an hour, and then I'll just go see some other stuff. Today at Luton Airport, what happened was I was in the men's bathroom. I was kneeling underneath the dryer, like the hand dryer where you dry your hands. I was just emptying some of the crap in my bag, gather these like lolly papers, wrappers and stuff. And all of a sudden, because I'm like nearly 6 foot tall, that's my head, and then bam, and I started like bleeding up here. But it wasn't like too bad. I mean, this lovely first aid lady on site, she just said, well, you've been able to stop the bleeding, so it's not much of a cut. So, the thing is, I don't really have travel insurance because I'm covered by this EU healthcare card, even though Britain's leaving the EU next year. But, I'm not going to bother with treatment. I'll just go back to England on Wednesday and see what my doctor says. Where he just says, nah, it's not that bad. I mean, a couple of times I have had to, like, have glue, which is quite bad. Oh my goodness. It's my first sighting of the Church of Iceland, the big cathedral. The one that looks like a volcano, just right over there. You see that? See? I mean, Reykjavik to me seems like it's got wide open spaces. I mean, you got an airport all the way down there, but they only use it for domestic flights within the countries. I mean, you fly into Iceland, you land at KEF airport, and it takes you about an hour to get into Reykjavik. There's no train lines in this country, so you just have to use buses or drive. Now, this is quite surprising. Walk past the main cemetery, and I find a Jewish grave of John Bar-Bjarne Pedersen. Died in 1956, and his wife Inga Bjorg also died in 65. Because there's only about like 200 or so Jews living in Iceland today. There's not even a whole synagogue in Reykjavik. There's no synagogue in Iceland at all. I mean, the most northern synagogue in the world is one in Trøndelag, Norway. But there's also one in Alaska. But the thing was, for a time, there was even no rabbi in the whole of Iceland. They had to fly a rabbi from America or Canada to do service. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to see a bit of Jewish history in a cemetery like this. How, you know, the Jews are buried next to Christians like they are in war cemeteries, and they're buried next to Christians in regular cemeteries. So in the center of Reykjavik, we have a city hall, back entrance right here. Parliament of Iceland, the thingy, something like that, over there. Oh yeah, then there's a major church over there. Not as beautiful as the big one. It's the Parliament of Iceland. Built this thing in 1881, and it's even got like a number 9 for Viking in Denmark #9 up there. Kind of funny how it doesn't actually have the proper coat of arms of Iceland on the front. Because I mean that's what I expect in most parliaments of the world. Is you go there, you see the coat of arms of the country on the front. But after about 130 years, I haven't changed it. But unfortunately, the Icelandic flag's isn't flying today. But they should be meeting around 3 o'clock. Hopefully I'll see if I can get inside today. If not, so be it. So here's a statue for Ingeborg Bjarnason, died in 1941. The first woman elected to the Icelandic Parliament, Member of Parliament, for 8 years, unveiled in 2015 on the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage in Iceland. So there's one powerful Icelandic woman. I mean, she was even working in Parliament while Iceland was still part of Denmark. Svaha Jakobsdóttir, prominent Icelandic writer from 1930 to 2004, and she even worked in the Icelandic Parliament over here. So I have to look her up when I get to my hostel. So this statue over here symbolizes a guy from Iceland, or from Scandinavia, and he was one of the first people to ever make it across into North America during the Viking days. Considering it's very significant as it's in front of the main cathedral in Iceland. And they only built this cathedral in the last 30 years ago. They started building it like after World War II. So I like how it shapes up like a volcano down. So I bought my ticket to go up to the tower. So I'll find where I go now. Lift or something. So this is what you get for 1,000 Icelandic kroners. Get top entry to the clock tower. You see a lot of Reykjavik. Figure out where was I just eating? Might have been just across there. So, oh yes, the back entrance. Over there's a big dome. It's got like glaciers. It's a long way off. Maybe I'll get to it tomorrow, maybe I'll get to it today, who knows. The good thing is, the sun doesn't go down until later. Well, like, you even notice like there's a large amount of crosses down there on the ground. Yeah, this is what 1,000 krones gets you in Iceland. This gets you at the top of the bell tower. It's windy. See, I'm a Christian. As you can see, this is the altar of the big cathedral in Iceland. It's amazing though. So this is what I'm going to see. I'm going to see the Solfario of the Sun Voyage. That Viking ship. It's down this way. I kind of think it's a bit of a trap to pay about like 1,000 krones to get to the top, even though it's got good views. Because I mean, you can actually buy postcards in there for about 100 krone, so like it's under £1. Morse code? Wow. Now my map tells me this is what they call Solfa, the Sun Voyage. This is a steel sculpture by John Gunnar Arnson, 1931 to 1989. This work is a dreamboat and ode to the sun. And quite a fitting place to put this Sun Voyage, as it's right in front of the mountains. Very fitting. Well, I guess this is where the Freemasons and the Jews all meet. Because look, they've got the Freemason symbol and the Star of David, even though there is no synagogue. And so right here we have Hofty House. Hofty House is the location of the summit meeting of Presidents Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev in October 1986. So at this kind of like house here, I felt like Reagan and Gorbachev, they kind of prevented like another nuclear war. But I mean, the Cold War ended a couple of years afterwards. But you gotta remember, back in 1972, like the World Championship chess was held here in Iceland, and American Bobby Fischer, he defeated a couple of Soviets and he took on the world and he won. So Iceland's kind of like very significant because one, Bobby Fischer beat the Soviets on the soil, and then two, peace is like created in that house over there. You kind of think to wonder if Cold War II breaks out again, and it is happening in proxy wars. Well, peace has only been around for maybe 20 years, I guess. Right here, I found a couple of Commonwealth war graves in a cemetery in Reykjavik. I think these are all of Commonwealth. There are some like Polish and like Norwegians scattered around. But yeah, it's good. This one here is a Canadian, because the Brits and the Canadians, they invaded Iceland in the 1940 to stop it from becoming like a puppet state, because Denmark was invaded by the Nazis. And so first the British occupied it, then the Americans, and then Iceland got its independence before the end of World War II. Right here, step past, you have a Canadian from Ottawa, the Cameron Highlanders of Ottawa, 3rd January 1941. And somebody's been nice enough to like leave him an X here, because so that's similar to what my great uncle fought for. I think it's like a Scottish Guards down there. This is quite honourable to be a son of a New Zealand woman, to be on the top of the world in Iceland, and visit the grave of J.V. Taylor, a pilot who his plane crashed in Iceland on the 28th of May 1943, and he's buried right here. I'm standing. Okay, so I just found this Australian flag, which was planted at the grave of a Canadian, which I think is a bit of a mistake. I was born in Australia, even though I no longer live there anymore, but I feel I need to honour this man's legacy, because when you look at the coat of arms, sometimes it gets confused between the British RAF and the Canadian Royal Air Force. So I pay homage to J.D. Buckle of the Royal Australian Air Force, who died at only 19. In his steps, I plant the Australian flag. That's good too. And this way we have a memorial, mass grave for the Germans who died fighting in Iceland. I kind of think that Germany didn't really make much of an impact to capture Iceland. They already captured Denmark and Norway, and but I kind of think they would have wanted to get like Iceland or Faroe Islands, so they could like launch attacks on North America. But 70 years after the war, people still respect these graves. And this is an honouring tribute to those men from the Free Polish Army who died in Iceland in 1942. Across here we have the graves of a few French servicemen. Some of these men died after World War II and are buried here instead of being buried in France, because that's where they're stationed. I mean, this guy died in 1956, 55, 55, 56, no. Actually, forgive me what I'm saying, it's 36, sorry. It's not like they died before War II started. Yeah.